Hello everyone, Okanes here with video number 2 about price action. In the first video we spoke about the trends, how to see the trend where price might be heading, the highs and lows. If you remember, we looked at Euro USD, looked at higher time frames, lower time frames to try to understand where price was going to make this next top and whether it was in a downtrend or uptrend. So if you remember this chart, if you don't remember, please watch the first video before you watch this. Just look through it one more time so you get the entire picture. Anyway, in the last video we looked at this chart, and I said that if you look at the higher time frames, you can see that Euro USD is dropping. It's in a downtrend, and what we looked at specifically was this price that was moving, climbing up, and I said in the short term Euro USD is going up, and as you can see it has been continuing up since I made the first video. So my expectation was that it would reach this line here. If you look at the first video again, you will see this exact line, this exact price. So I said that I don't know if it's gonna reach, but that's my target, and after that it might break and continue up, or it might fall. So that was our prediction. So if we go to the hourly chart, and I'm going to show you what happened since we spoke last time, because as I said in this video, we're gonna talk about the support and resistance lines instead of the trend, because now you understand the trend, about the highs and lows, about the moving averages, what to look for. So now you want to draw your lines. So let's go back in time, and again a few weeks ago I said price is moving and it might reach this level, and I also said that as we can see from history, we can see how price dropped from this level very heavily, almost non-stop, came back several times, so we knew this resistance was strong. And since price here was going up, we could guess that yes, the buyers are pushing the price up to the same level again, but we don't know if it's gonna break or continue or hold as a resistance again. So only thing we knew that we should have a line here, and that's what I did, and that's how you analyze the charts. So you set up your line, and then you expect your target to be there, and that price will reach up there. So now let's see what happened after a few days after we talked about that. It's a little bit difficult to find. There it is. So let's mark it and go to the hourly time frame. There you go. You might be wondering what are these. The arrow means that I took a trade. I'm gonna show you what happened on this picture. So take a look at this. So after we spoke a few days later, price finally reached my target. Now there was also a news event, so it's important to watch for news that might be coming out. Anyway, price did finally touched that line, actually even broke above it, but I entered my trade. I should have waited. I admit I should have waited a little bit more because there was news. Normally I don't trade when there is news, but I had been waiting so long for this target to be reached, so I knew it was a really strong resistance, so I took the trade, but I gave it more time than usual. As you can see, this is the 5-minute chart. this picture. It's of the 5-minute chart. If you don't know in my videos or pictures that I'm showing which time frame it is, always look in the corner here and you will find that out. So pay attention. Anyway, as you can see, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. It took 25 minutes. Usually I take 10 or 15 minutes, but I give this almost half an hour because I was afraid it would do this break that it did. So my prediction was right. And also our prediction that price would reach this target was right, and that it would hold for a moment as sellers would enter the market and sell. So we had also good confirmation. Stochastic was overbought on several time frames. You can see here how overbought it was overbought for a while. And as you can see, it did continue up, but it didn't matter. For us short-term traders, it didn't make any difference because we take our put option and then we enter and we exit. Here's the trade. As you can see, it did break above, but I gave it enough time to come back. So that's how you take advantage of these lines that you set up. You have to analyze the market, look for the trend, and ask yourself, where is price heading? And in this case, we had already answered this question. We said that yes, well, price might go to this level where previous resistance was, and we took advantage of it. Let's go to a lower time frame to see what really happened. Here you go. This is the candle I entered on. It broke above but then fell, and then, as I said in the previous video, I don't know what's gonna happen afterward, whether it's gonna go up or down. And as you can see, it went up, so you could have taken advantage of this and trade call options when this line was broken and you saw that this resistance is now support. Or you could have waited for an oversold position here, a higher low, and take calls. So it's up to you how you use it, how you use price action, how you trade price action. But the analyses, they're almost the same. The resistance lines, the support lines, they're pretty much the same. How you take advantage of them, that's up to you. You could have, when I said last week that price is moving up and this is our target, well, you could have entered calls, a weekly call or daily or whatever, or you could have taken smaller call options when there was higher lows. So I hope you understand what I mean with that you can take advantage of it in different ways. Because many of you ask me, but if you draw your line on this, then what is the expiry? Because it's on the daily, you drew this line on the daily chart, and should I take a daily expiry? No. This line just tells you that this is the target. It doesn't say anything about expiries. Your expiry depends on your strategy. This line only tells you that price might be heading there and that level might be a support or a resistance. And in this case, it was a resistance. We predicted that it might come up there. Price came up there. I took a small put, but the trend was, again, short-term trend was heavily going upwards, and this heavy resistance was broken. So it wouldn't have been wise to go a long put on this level. If you did, you would have lost, because as you can see, price broke, this resistance became support. So you could have taken advantage in a different way, going call options. This is how you have to analyze the markets. I hope it clears some of your questions. Okay, as you can see, I have a few more lines. This level was the one we spoke about in the previous video. As you can see, even on the higher time frames, the price is above moving averages. So we want to take advantage of this, take calls on higher lows. So the next trade that I took was, let me see if I find it here. I've been taking a lot of trades, to be honest, but I keep drawing my lines, trying to see where will price be heading next. So as you can see, the next target when this broke, when this resistance was broken, was this moving average here, which is an SMA 50 or moving average 99, it doesn't matter. So I had a line placed up there, and I took advantage of this level. I could have gone with the trend, with the short-term trend, and take advantage of higher lows, as I said before. So again, it's up to you how you take advantage of it, but the price levels you draw on higher time frames are much stronger, much more reliable than on the ones on the lower time frames. So pay attention to that, and when you want to draw support and resistance lines, you have to check for at least few candle touches on that price, on that same, in the same area, I would say. So as you saw, that level wasn't really exact because price broke above it, but it eventually held as price broke and finished below that line. So we don't know exactly where it could be. It's an area, more like an area of a few pips. It's different from time to time. Sometimes it's exact to the point. Here is another picture. Let me show you. Here's another picture, and as you can see, I took a call option, so I was going with this short-term trend. It was from a few days ago. So as you can see in this trade, my entry was exact, so this line was exact because price never went below my price. It stayed there and I won this trade. So sometimes your levels are exact to the point, sometimes they are more like an area, so it's hard to tell. Alright, so support and resistance, how do you draw them? Let's go through it again. Well, look for higher time frames. I suggest hourly up to daily, weekly, even monthly. And look for areas where price has been reacting to as either when sellers entered or when buyers entered. So you want to look for those, and you want at least 3 rules to give you a confirmation before you enter a trade. So you don't just go because you have a line there. You have to check other indicators. I don't mean indicators as such as stochastic. I mean indicators as anything that indicates what's going to happen. So for example, in this case, when price came down again, almost touched this resistance that now became support, you could have entered a call option. So you already had this line. All you had to do was to check the stochastic on different time frames, and you would see that this level was way oversold, and you would see that the moving averages crossed each other, and the price, the higher lows are above the moving averages. So this was very good setup. A lot of rules that apply, that are confirmed, and you're going with the trend, and you know after this trade that, well, your next target is the other line that you have above this one, for example. So you have to ask yourself, where is price going? Well, it's going to the next level, so I'm gonna go with the trend. Let's find that position here. You can see again on the even on the hourly it was oversold, and then you adjust your line. So this is how you do it. Some of you again had a few questions like about expiries. We will talk about that in the next video, but I've already given you some hints about how to set an expiry, and that's not entirely on just where your line is. I mean, if your line is on the daily chart, it doesn't mean you have to take daily expiries. It doesn't work like that. It just tells you that this resistance or support line that you drew is very strong because it's on the daily or weekly or a higher time frame. I don't like to draw my lines on the 1 minute or 5 minute chart, maybe a 15 minute, but there has to be a lot of other things that are in line, and the price must be in a strong trend if I draw my lines on the 15-minute chart. So try to keep your lines from hourly and above, and you will have a lot more success, many more successful trades. So let me know if there is something unclear. I will go through this again in the next video, and I will speak about expiries as well and patterns, and hopefully you will have a clear idea of how you should view price action, how you should view trends and support resistance and patterns and expiries. So let me know again in the strategy room where I posted the thread, and please watch the first video again, watch this video at least a few times, because there are many details that you might have missed. So please look at it a few times before you ask questions, and I'll see you.